When you think of vegetables, you probably assume they're all good for you, and for the most part, they are. But if you're living with diabetes, some vegetables can actually work against your blood sugar goals. Certain veggies are high in starch, sugar, or hidden carbs, which can cause blood sugar spikes and make management harder. So let's talk about the top 10 vegetables that diabetics should limit or avoid for better blood sugar control. Potatoes. High in starch and carbs, potatoes may be a comfort food, but they're packed with starch, which breaks down quickly into sugar in your body. This rapid conversion can cause spikes in blood sugar levels, especially when potatoes are consumed in large portions or without balancing them with fiber or protein. Mashed potatoes, French fries, and even baked potatoes can all lead to a quick rise in glucose levels. While sweet potatoes are a slightly better alternative due to their higher fiber content and lower glycemic index, they should still be eaten in moderation. Pairing potatoes with non-starchy vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats can help minimize their impact on blood sugar and make them a more balanced part of your meal. Corn. Naturally sweet and carb-heavy corn is often treated like a vegetable, but it's technically a grain, and a starchy one at that. While fresh corn on the cob may seem harmless, it contains natural sugars and has a high glycemic index, which means it can spike blood sugar quickly. Canned or creamed corn often contains added sugars, making them even more problematic for those managing their weight or blood sugar. Additionally, processed corn products, like cornflakes, popcorn with butter and flavorings, and cornmeal, are even more concentrated sources of carbs. To keep corn in your diet, consider eating it in small portions alongside foods rich in fiber, healthy fats, and protein to slow digestion and balance blood sugar levels. 3. Peas. Small but sugar-rich green peas may look harmless, but they're surprisingly high in carbs and natural sugars compared to other green veggies. While they do have fiber and protein, they can raise blood glucose if eaten in large amounts. Stick to small servings, and pair them with lean protein for balance. 4. Pumpkin. High glycemic index. Handle with care. Pumpkin is often seen as a superfood rich in vitamin A, fiber, and antioxidants, but for people managing diabetes, it's not always a clear-cut win. While the nutrients are great, the glycemic index, GI, of pumpkin is surprisingly high, especially when consumed in mashed, pureed, or canned form. A high GI means that it digests quickly, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar. This effect is even more intense when pumpkin is part of sweetened dishes like pies, lattes, or desserts, where sugar is already added. That's why it's important for diabetics to enjoy pumpkin in very controlled portions and always as part of a meal with protein or fiber-rich vegetables. If you love pumpkin, try roasting small chunks of fresh pumpkin and avoiding sugary recipes altogether. 5. Beets. Naturally sweet, but sneaky on sugar, beets are packed with powerful antioxidants, like betalains, and are great for heart health, but they're also naturally high in sugar, which can be problematic for people with diabetes. A single cup of cooked beets can contain about 13 grams of sugar, more than most non-starchy vegetables. While they do offer fiber, which helps slow sugar absorption, beet juice removes most of that fiber, making it a concentrated source of natural sugar. That's why beet juice is not recommended for diabetics. If you include beets in your diet, stick to small portions and pair them with foods high in fiber or protein to help minimize blood sugar spikes. And always monitor your levels afterward to see how your body responds. 6. Carrots, in excess. Moderation matters. Carrots are often praised for being healthy, and they are. They're low in calories, full of beta-carotene, and contain fiber. However, compared to other non-starchy vegetables, carrots are slightly higher in natural sugars. A cup of chopped carrots contains around 6 grams of sugar, which is something to consider if you're closely watching your blood glucose. The form of the carrot also makes a difference. Raw carrots are digested more slowly, so they have less of an impact on blood sugar. But cooked carrots, especially if they're boiled or mashed, can break down more quickly and have a higher glycemic load. Diabetics don't need to cut carrots out completely, just limit portions and avoid consuming them as the main ingredient in meals. 7. Butternut squash. Sweet and carb-heavy butternut squash is a delicious fall vegetable, full of vitamin A, potassium, and fiber. But beneath that sweet creamy texture lies a fairly high amount of carbohydrates, about 22 grams of carbs per cup. For people with diabetes, that's more than many other vegetables, and can raise blood sugar levels if eaten in large quantities. Because of its naturally sweet taste, butternut squash is often included in hearty soups and casseroles, sometimes along with other starchy ingredients. If you enjoy this veggie, try combining it with lower carb ingredients, like leafy greens or grilled protein. Roasting it in small chunks with herbs and spices can bring out its flavor without needing to add sugar or butter. 8. Yams. Healthy but still high-carb yams are often thought to be healthier alternatives to white potatoes, and they do offer more nutrients like fiber, vitamin C and potassium. But for diabetics, they're still high in starch and carbs, which means they can cause similar blood sugar spikes. A cup of cooked yams contains around 27 grams of carbohydrates, and like other starchy foods, they can be quickly converted into glucose in the bloodstream. Yams are fine as an occasional treat, especially if eaten in moderation and combined with protein or healthy fats. Avoid sugary yam dishes with marshmallows or brown sugar, and instead, try roasting with olive oil, herbs, and a dash of cinnamon for flavor without the added carbs. 9. Parsnips. A starchy root veg to watch. Parsnips look like white carrots, and while they do provide vitamin C, folate, and fiber, they also come with a high starch content. A single cup of cooked parsnips contains over 24 grams of carbohydrates and 6 grams of sugar, which can cause a significant rise in blood sugar levels, especially when eaten in large amounts. Parsnips also have a higher glycemic index than other root vegetables, like turnips or radishes, making them less ideal for diabetics. If you love the earthy flavor of parsnips, consider mixing a small amount into dishes with other low-carb veggies, or using cauliflower as a base to reduce the overall carb load. 10. Canned vegetables with added sugar or sodium. While the vegetables themselves might not be the problem, canned versions can be tricky. Many canned veggies, like corn, peas, or carrots, come with added sugar or sodium, which can affect blood sugar and blood pressure. Always check the label, or choose no salt added or low sugar varieties when possible. While vegetables are an important part of a healthy diet, not all of them are created equal, especially for people with diabetes. Starchy, sweet or heavily processed veggies can spike your blood sugar and make it harder to stay on track. The key is not to fear vegetables, but to choose wisely, watch portion sizes, and focus on low glycemic high fiber options. As always, talk to your doctor or dietitian before making major changes to your diet, and remember, small changes lead to big results over time.